The laughter echoed across the sunlit marble hall, sharp and careless, the kind that makes everyone else feel smaller. A polished table reflected the blue of the afternoon sky pouring in through floor-to-ceiling windows, and at the far end stood a boy with dust on his shoes and hunger in his eyes. The millionaire's challenge hung in the air like a cruel joke, written on an ancient, yellowed page covered in symbols most people had never seen. $1 million was promised, not as hope, but as mockery. No one expected the boy to even understand the question, let alone change the room forever. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a second and show some love. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kindness World if you believe in kindness and second chances. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The boy's name was Aaron Velez, and daylight had always been his enemy and his teacher. While other children hid from the sun in classrooms, Aaron spent his days working odd jobs, delivering groceries, cleaning storefronts, and sitting quietly outside the city library whenever the guards allowed him. He was small for his age, his clothes faded from too many washes, but his mind was a quiet storm. Words fascinated him, letters felt like keys. When he could not afford books, he memorized signs, old newspapers, and discarded manuals, teaching himself how languages bent and breathed. Hunger followed him everywhere, but so did curiosity. The man who laughed that afternoon was Leonard Crowe, a self-made millionaire known for his sharp suits and sharper pride. He collected rare artifacts the way others collected watches, not for meaning but for status. The manuscript on the table had baffled scholars for years, a blend of ancient scripts brought from different continents, and Crowe had grown bored of experts shaking their heads. When Aaron wandered in with a cleaning crew, Crowe noticed him only as entertainment. The challenge was never meant to be real. It was daylight cruelty dressed as confidence. Aaron's hands trembled as he looked at the page, not from fear, but from recognition. His eyes moved slowly, absorbing patterns, connecting roots, hearing echoes of languages he had studied in fragments. The room stayed bright and still as minutes passed. Crowe's smile faded, advisors shifted uncomfortably. What began as laughter turned into silence heavy enough to press against the windows. Aaron had faced challenges long before this moment. He had slept under bus stations, been chased away from doorways, and ignored when he asked simple questions. People assumed intelligence needed polish, that wisdom came with wealth. Each rejection carved something deeper inside him, not bitterness, but resolve. In that sunlit hall, all of it came together. The boy who learned languages from scraps finally stood in a place that demanded everything he had. As Aaron continued, the meaning of the manuscript unfolded like a forgotten prayer. It spoke of unity, of knowledge shared across borders, of civilizations reminding the future that power without compassion collapses. Crowe's face hardened, then softened. The $1 million no longer felt like a joke. It felt small. By the time Aaron finished, daylight had shifted, shadows stretching across the floor like witnesses. Crowe realized the wealth he flaunted could never buy what stood in front of him. The room was quiet, not from disbelief, but from awe. Aaron did not ask for applause. He simply stood there, breathing, as if releasing a weight he had carried all his life. Crowe honored the promise, but more importantly, he funded Aaron's education, opened doors, and learned something himself. Kindness had translated what money never could. If this story reached your heart, please like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps spread stories that remind the world compassion still matters. Before this story ends, write in the comments, knowledge with kindness changes everything. As the sun dipped lower and the hall returned to silence, one truth remained clear. Sometimes the brightest minds come from the darkest places, and all it takes is one moment, one chance, and one act of belief to change a life forever.